ready, we can start with the intro, where you feel right now, what intentions and distractions you have, and we can also have a short update. Let's start with Ashley.
Hi guys, I'm doing pretty good this morning. A little bit tired, but other than that, it's nice to see you all. And I don't know that I really have any updates for the call. I just wanted to come and kind of see where we're at, except for I think that it's really awesome that we're finally went live. We made our goal, so that's really cool. And yeah, so just come to check in on like what the next steps are after that. And I will pass it to Amin.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a little tired today, but it's good, and I'm happy it's the next. It's the first call after release, and we should discuss about the roadmap or the features that we should add, and yeah, what are the priority to implement, and but till now we have just talked about functional requirements, like that query not having bug, that menu, something like that. Maybe we should continue through a sprint like this and say these features are needed, and then we can put some bandits for being prepared for onboarding more users. I'm not distracted. Yeah, that's it. I pass it to Mitch.
Hello, everyone. No distractions this morning. Feeling all right. Just going through some of the suggested changes on the PR I sent through. Looking how I can do more testing or whatever, however I can assist with Giveth Trace. I'll pass it to Mohammed.
Hey guys, I'm feeling good, and I was working on the minor issues, tiny issues that we had before the release that Giveth Trace, and and 1 or 2 days for an endpoint. I pass it to Monique.
Hello, everybody.
Griff. You want to mute?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm very distracted by making a smoothie, but I'm basically here to give feedback on live user testing and give back integration and to celebrate because like it's trace.giveth.io now. It's so wild. That's so wild, and it's so snappy. It's just everything is running so well right now. So I hope that there's some space to celebrate, and I'll pass it to Lauren.
Hey, yeah. So my intentions are I started working on the launch piece since we have it on Trace now. So I started working on like a comms article to announce it to the public. So I started that yesterday. So my kind of priorities for the week are to try to like help support and make sure that we have all the docs up on our documentation and then have all the appropriate links to that like in the launch post and just like sort of structuring comms around that. So yeah, and then like also help with testing. And also I really want to make sure that all of the emails are working properly. I know that there were like a few that we still haven't finished. So now that we're like live before we fully launch, I want to make sure that all the emails are in there properly. So those are my priorities for the week. And I think, I don't think Ramin went, or maybe you did. I don't think so. No, you did.
Hi everyone. I'm really good today, and we had a release
Yeah, because Mohammed is gonna show the API that is going to go to give back to.
I have my computer over here. I'm definitely watching it.
Okay.
Pretty much before 14. Yeah, you know, the date.
Mute on OBS. So yeah, just so we have like all the data accessible to Fabio, so he can also like say like, oh yeah, these are the. So there's like the give back scope, which is only cares about verified projects, but Fabio wants to make a dashboard for all donations in Giveth. So it'd also be good to give him the non-verified data as well.
Okay, we can add parameters. For example, verified. If it's true, we return verified, and it's not, we return other, or we return all. Something like this. Do you want? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's this query solves the requirements for givebacks, and then Fabio also wants all of the data. He wants it all. So, yeah. But he's not. But I think we need feedback from him to make sure that it looks good to me. It looks right to me. But I think we need feedback from him to see what else he needs. Do we have like a list of project IDs versus like a table of project IDs and names and stuff like that?
No, we have in our tables we have, for example, campaigns, and in these campaigns we have project ID, and it's similar for places and the communities. So we can give him, we can give him and.
It might be nice to print. It might be nice just to print out not just the project ID, but also the name of the trace or campaign that received the donation in the query. Just right there where it says project ID 9, but like it'd be cool to also be like project ID 9. I don't know. That's probably the Giveth DAP campaign, right? And then the 4,000 I think is a mean payment, right? And it should say the trace there.
We can put a link to the project to also. Which one is better? Project name or the link? I want to have some idea from the view.
I think he'll want the name.
Yeah. Okay.
If you add the link there too, that's cool. But I think he'll want the name, and probably whether or not it's a trace or a campaign or a DAC.
Yeah. It's
I guess.
And about the community. Yeah, and about the community is the link. It includes donation directly to community. But my dream was to include that donation when it's successfully delegated to some project.
Yeah.
So if I donate to a community and it's not delegated yet, it should not include it.
Yep.
It will when the community owner delegated and it's not vetoed and finally landed on the project. So that's the time that I should get the token, give back token.
Yeah. And
It's a
that's
little complicated. Yeah.
yeah, that sounds complicated.
An issue there. And you know, it becomes more complicated when the money is returned. Yeah. Nah, it's become more and more complicated.
For the canceled projects. I mean, it doesn't get returned as easily once it's in the campaign.
It's it's moved to the user. It's will be under control of the user. You know, it will be. Maybe we should ignore that and just say that okay, if you have donated to a community, the community is verified, or we will give you.
Yeah, I mean, I would say we ignore it in one stance. We ignore it for the math of givebacks, but we also watch for it. And this is and be vigilant for, you know, like if somebody sends money to a trace and then gets give tokens and then cancels that trace to get the money back, or if they're recirculating funds through a trace for themselves, you know, like we that project should lose their verified status.
So the verification status may may go back, and we have to have the date. You know, that's why I insist on they make it more clear.
Yeah, if they're verified, the way the givebacks will work is every 2 weeks there will be a snapshot basically, and you'd say like the verified projects at the end of that 2 weeks. So let's say that we catch someone doing some funny business. They make a trace. Somebody, you know, the campaign manager allows for a trace to be made by somebody. That same person who makes that trace donates it to themselves, and then takes the give tokens, you know, and we catch that. Then we just kick that verified project out, and their donors that donated to the verified project, they don't get givebacks because that project violated our terms of service. Basically, they were recirculating funds in a way to create that's like in a way that we would call fraud, effectively, right? They're frauding our give back program, and that's the cool thing here is that we can revoke their verified project status, and that's the like stick that we have to make sure people act right.
So we came to this point. I would like to ask you. Sorry, I just my voice came back to me.
Oh, you're hearing an echo?
Yeah.
And what?
I would like to ask you if you can explain more about the verification process. Is it project, for example, a trace or a campaign, a verified one? We just have to have APIs for give back tokens, or we should make a UI for it. What parameters we should save about verification? What's the process is like?
It's going to start totally manual. I don't know if Ashley, if you want to, it's kind of your baby if you want to present it.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's definitely a manual process, and we are exploring different options on how to automate that. But right now, at least starting out, we're just doing it manually on Giveth.io. They are going. I just give them a list of the projects that have been verified through our verification parties, and then they go in and change the Boolean from false to true in the database. Going forward, we hope to have a better process for that, a more decentralized and automated process, but I think that this manual process really allows us to see where the gaps that need to be filled are and the requirements and eligibility going forward, like how we can make that happen.
And
If
what
you
do
guys have
what-
any ideas of how we can, automate the process more or whatever, I'm definitely open to hearing what you have to offer.
Mhm. Because I don't know the links between the verification of an project owner or profile and the verification of the project.
I think the best thing to do, honestly, is to verify the Giveth DApp campaign. Let's start verifying campaigns and just walk you through the process. Because we could talk about it, but talk is cheap. Let's do it. Let's maybe Ashley, we could start verifying some. Have you guys verified the DApp project yet? The DApp campaign?
Giveth Trace or Giveth.io?
Giveth Trace.
No, I don't think we've
We don't even have these links.
I've automated the form, so I'm going to post a link to the form, the type form here, and this is the process currently that projects will go and fill out this form, provide some additional information, and then we will look at it in the verification party and decide whether they're verifiable or not, and then at that point change it. So let me get the link for you.
So don't you need any API for it?
No.
So we do it manually in database, I assume, and you just tell us that this project is going to be verified or not, and it doesn't have any logical relationship with the verification of a profile. Am I right?
Yes, that is absolutely correct. So to verify projects, I don't think we need ceramic or anything like that. What we need is basically some social media verification. So what we were settling on was like, hey, go to this website or go tweet from your Twitter account that you're verifying a project, and then give us a link that shows you that, not that you're verifying a project, but that you're collecting donations on Giveth, right? Go tweet from your social media campaign that says, hey, donate to us on Giveth with X diet. Come on, and then that proves that you're really in control of that social media program. At least that social media profile is actually raising money with this project. And that's probably better than ceramic or something.
So let's go back to the jobs that Mohammed has done. Did you talk with Fabio, Mohammed?
Yeah, Fabiano said that all the things that I and Giveth talked is okay, but he wanted created that and I added also.
So he didn't want two separate APIs, one for having the project's ID and another for just donations.
No.
So what do you say, Griff? Is it your requirement to have a separate ID for projects? You said that we better have another API for the list of the projects and see if it's verified or not.
He mentioned that he needs that every donation currently we have a list of donations that it includes the project ID donation which is donated to. He said he requires the name of the project, and for instance, the campaign name, and also the link to that project will be helpful for Fabio or someone else to want to see.
What about the non-verified project? Is it needed? Because I heard that
it's not needed for givebacks, but it will be useful for us as Giveth to say, look how much money was raised on the Giveth platform total, right? So it's not needed for givebacks, but if we're in the meat of it right now, maybe it's also just easy for creating this API so we can easily grab all of the data and go send an email out that's like, holy crap, we raised $1 million this month on Giveth Trace and Giveth IO. You know, like, yeah.
So we can add this to this API for a couple of days later. And to avoid reworking, do you have anything to add about the future of the integration between the give back tokens?
Integration. I mean, we'll definitely need to add give tokens as a donation thing. So that'll be on once we have give, like once we put give tokens on mainnet, then we'll need to, you know, add that as a token that can be donated on Giveth. That shouldn't be hard though. That's like a multi-sig transaction. Other than that, honestly, it's not hard. Like it's just these verified projects. Everything's done off chain. So once you have this API.
Don't you want to show the give backs tokens allocated to the each user at the, for example, the profile section in the trace?
So that will be a dashboard that is nice. That will be a dashboard that is
Sorry.
So that'll be a dashboard that is combined for both IO and Trace. Oh, wow, thanks. A laptop too. Breakfast and laptop. So yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that. That's what Fabio is working on that.
Okay, thank you.
We'll have something to show you guys this week for sure.
Thank you. So I think it's very clear for all of us. Amin, Rami, Mohammed, do you have any question to add?
No, it's clear. But I have one question. Don't we need a badge for verified project in the UI?
Yes, that would be absolutely.
I think it would be cool.
To clarify again, Griff, you mentioned, you said that for community, we just ignore any money circulation after and just include donations directly to community. Yeah.
No.
To verify community.
No. I think you. Oh, am I? Yeah. I think you made I think we can ignore it to start, just communities altogether. No one donates to communities, right? But if the way you because of the veto thing, it really is like we can't give backs for communities because then the donor can just veto.
Yeah.
And then pull the money out. So it's too difficult. But once it's delegated to a campaign, we could reward givebacks, or we could just to cut scope. If it's really difficult, we can leave that for later and allow delegations to be like a fast follow post-launch.
And I just have another question. Can we have this status that the project manager of, for example, campaign or trace is verified? It is not verified. The address is not verified through 3box, but we have a verified trace.
Yeah, we don't need 3box for a verified trace. So there's it's kind of like two issues being confounded, or two requirements being combined. Like in the end, it'd be really nice to integrate Ceramic and IDX into our profile system. A lot of people would automatically have profiles without even having to log in. Their picture would automatically be updated. Like we have all these anonymous donors. They wouldn't be anonymous anymore. It'd be nice, It'd be nice for them not to be anonymous. Most of them don't want to be anonymous. So and if they're donating from a public address that's already on Ceramic, then clearly they don't want to be anonymous because they already publicly identified this address as them. And then also if they make if they come and make a profile on Giveth, then that profile can then be uploaded to Ceramic, and if they log into another thing, then it's like, oh yeah, my profile is already there. It's a very nice user experience, right? To not have to make a new profile for every app. And so that's like one thing. The next thing is the scope for givebacks is how do we stop people from saying that, like, hey, I'm Giveth, I'm I don't know, I'm the UN, some charity, I don't know, I can't, Amnesty International. I am Amnesty International, but really it's just some hacker dude in his basement, like, but he's copy pasting everything from Amnesty International and having a Ceramic, like, look, this is my address. That doesn't stop him from being like, yeah, it's a verified address on Ceramic, but like, how do we know that it's actually attached to Amnesty International? So to solve that problem, we need to involve some sort of like verified account on social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, something. And the easiest way to do that was just to put it in the verification form, the application form, and say, hey, give us a link to your social media of choice that's verified to your, charity, and actually ask for donations on Giveth, and then give us a link, the link to the Facebook post or the tweet or whatever, that's like, oh yeah, this has 100,000 followers, like they're asking for money on Giveth. Okay, this is definitely really them, and it's not some dude impersonating them.
And I just want to ask Ashley, in the seventh question, is what is the name of your project or campaign? How we can, enter the trace into this literature?
Well, I think at the last call that we had, we discussed that we were just going to start with verifying campaigns first. And so I didn't put the trace into the literature yet because we just were going to start with campaigns.
So you just need the name, not more.
Well, as it goes on, it will ask for a link to your campaign or project. So then you can post the link in there.
Thank you. Now, I just want to get back to the main requirement. So why, at this step, why we should use $3 in the trace? Is it that important?
It's not needed for givebacks.
Yeah, I don't think it's needed, and it was just something that we were looking into, maybe being a way that we could automate this verification process. But at this point, as we've gone through it, we've come to the point that, even that itself doesn't necessarily verify a project just because they have 3 blocks. I think that we came with the social media approach because that's a much more direct sign that they are who they say they are, And so I think as the process has gone forward, we have decided that like 3 blocks or IDX isn't necessary for the verification process.
Great, thank you. Do you have the same feeling for IO?
Yes, it's the same feeling there. We're not going to do that. I still am like exploring ways that we can automate this process, but right now it feels like it has to be a human. So at least we can decentralize the verification process to where like anybody on the team could help, or there might be a certain verified crew that is able to go in and take on these tasks or assignments to verify these projects, but it's a really touchy situation when you try to assign that job to a computer.
So we can reduce the priority of this integration for IO2. I think it's very important for our next integration, but it seems it's not. Thank you. It makes have more sense right now, so we don't have any special to doing the next sprint for this, kind of integration. And I would like to say that Amin has, more beautiful things for integration into, any ballots. What do you name it? today at the short demo for us. I think it's much more better than $3.
Do you mean onboard.js?
Yes, onboard.js.
No, that was another thing. You know, it's just a tool. Give onboard.js, give judgment. Say, oh, I'm an onboard.js fan. Onboard.js is a tool. Just current our application Giveth Trace just works with MetaMask, and we handle difficulties of managing the states. Onboard.js abstracts that for us, and also includes various wallets. But there is a point. We should just support wallets that can be connected and can be switched between networks, because we have ring fee and mainnet, for instance, and switching between these two networks is easy on MetaMask, but on other wallets, it's not common, such capability, you know. For instance, I don't know, Taurus or something like that, you cannot easily change between networks. You should go to manage, something like that. And, however, for common user, doesn't need to do that, maybe. Someone who's done it, once he comes to donate and he lives, so he doesn't need to do it. So we can think about supporting various kind of wallets. Everyone with any kind of wallet can donate. And on Giveth Trace, donors are on mainnet, and that's enough.
So, but I get that it's not about the verification of their profile on the Twitter. But it gives them the power to choose between another ballots, I guess. So it has, it has more value than just make them verify by $3 automatically, I think. So let's take a look at our last 2 weeks that we have. We've just done about 50 story points, and we, as it shows, we make 50 issues completed. Lots of thanks for Misha and Lauren that provide us, the hidden issues that we have. And let's take a look at the board. So this project verification is now more clear to me, and the Giveth integration also is good. And let's take a look at this redesign that Marco is not here, but he just make this one. But we had a very short discussion about this model, that the business of giving allowance and infinite allowance and I think rejection. What's the other clear the allowance? We have all these business on model right now. With this design, we're gonna make it very hidden for each user, assuming that each donation you're making, you just have the allowance of that donation, not more, and you do not have the ability to give infinite, access to their wallet. So if we go on this model, it's gonna be more, user friendly, but it doesn't let the user know that hey, we have the access over your wallet for the breach. That if you cancel the, for example, the transaction in your MetaMask, the allowance is still be there. So can, for example, the breach can, maybe have the allowance. But we have to make a decision on this. It's not big deal. I think if we can go through this, we just omit the allowance and infinite access. I just want everybody, if you have any comments about this.
Just goes for infinite allowance. No one asks us about. Don't give us an opportunity to set a lower allowance value. For instance, any decks you use, just a full set the allowance as maximum as possible. So, of course, it's a capability, but it should be added. Maybe we should put. We should have some sub-menu, some drop-down, something like that, with the label of advanced control, and allow users to clear their allowance. But for that, I guess this menu is user-friendly. On the system ship application, we use the infinite allowance too, and there was no objection. But I like to put some option for advanced user. For instance, some checkbox, some tiny checkbox, or some menu which is like drawers, which can be opened by clicking on the advanced button, and under there the allowance is shown. Give user the button to remove the allowance, and like that. It's would be nice.
And also, this design omits the slider bar that we recently added to the design. I'm not sure about it, but I think for I saw the donation bar or the donation progress in every kind of crowdfunding apps. Should make it clear for everyone that, hey, look, this trace, or for example, this campaign just full the 15% of its needed fund. And when you want to donate, it's very clear for you that how much I'm contributing in this trace or this campaign, about the maximum fund amounts that they need. And also the maximum amounts that I have in my wallet comparing to this. So I'm with having a slider on this model, but all of the opinions are welcome. What do you say, Ashley, Lauren, Mitch?
I want to jump into and just say, like, I think you make a great point about the slider for like milestones that have a goal. It doesn't necessarily apply for campaigns or traces that are uncapped traces. Mm-hmm. So, but if it's a capped trace, then having the slider makes a lot of sense. And also, the slider that we're using is not always set for the trace. It's set for the trace or for like how much money is in your wallet. So like if it's an uncapped trace or a campaign, then it's like how much of the total amount of funds in your wallet do you want to donate? Yeah. So if we're gonna add the slider, we should scope it out just a little bit and make sure we know what we want.
So you mean a slider just for capped milestones? Yeah, capped traces. Yeah.
Yeah, or I mean that's the thing. Like we basically have 4 different, experiences. So we would need to define the design for each of those 4 situations.
Yeah, you're right. For uncapped projects, it makes sense. But the form is not even, I guess. Maybe it should be filled all the widths of the model. Marco knows better than me, but I don't know. The cart is not filled. Uh, I thought maybe all the models should be filled, all the widths should be used, the boxes should be spread across all the widths, be centered, something like that. And I don't know what you think.
Okay.
The card can be smaller than very something like most of the cards we see in the decks and pancake swap, Uniswap.
Any other comments about the design? Shall we go on it, or I just put some comments about all of your feedbacks? Thanks. Let's take a look at the epics that we have here. We also have the redesign, about to design homepage, community, campaign and trace, and also the management dashboard overhaul. These two epics should be done according to our Q3 goal. The summation of all your comments is that we have to do lots of UI UX improvements. And it should be based on detailed customer feedback. If you don't have customer feedback, I think we go to do some rework after that. And improving scalability and reliability at the backend. Guru said that we have to gather detailed feedback from at least more than 20 external users. Let's take a look at this goal. Do you want something to add? I think we can do much more if we don't have any special work on integration between projects. I think we can do, beside UI UX, we can go further with, for example, having more wallets working with Trace, or even we can work on the relationship map about how the donations are going through Traces, make it more visual. Once Griff said that it's very good to think about. And because we are at the beginning of the Q3, I would like to make it more clear all of this, and we have to go all of this in details. If you have anything to add, I would like to listen and talk in this meeting.
I mean, we have our managing menus should be changed. Should need, of course, needs more better design. We cannot find any project or delegated or money, something like that easily. And also the delegate models should be redesigned. What do you think, Griff?
Priorities, I guess. So, I don't know. I don't know if Marco's going to have the time to redesign all of those things.
Yeah, and also the design should be consistent. I guess we should have some similar theme. We should not be so different from US2. What do you think? We should have the same theme on the both project and same button, something like that, and so on. If we change, we should just have a slightly different colors. For instance, Giveth be lighter, our image, our button be a little more dark. But we should follow the same design pattern, same elements and components. They know that we are the same team. from the
Definitely.
same organization. Also, me and Monique would again try to find some new designer.
Oh,
UI
yeah.
UX to help. Yeah, we tried. We decided to start searching.
That would be great. We definitely
Yeah.
it would be great to have a local designer.
Yeah. It's hard. Recruiting is very hard. I don't know. I didn't know that.
So for our next sprint, I suggest that we work on the remaining things that we have in our product backlog, especially for the emails. I think we can, because the comms team also working on the emails, and we can discuss about these items tomorrow at our daily meeting that we have. Because it's not a full sprint, I suggest that we make it, we don't close it. We have a loose kind of planning that we can do. We can bring everything to the product sprint backlog and do it eventually. What do you think?
Yeah, one thing I want to add into the mix. I was just thinking about this at the beginning of the call with Lauren, because for the blog post, like, people are like, "Oh, I want to use Giveth Trace," and it's like, okay, well, make an issue on GitHub and we'll add you to the campaign whitelist. It's like, oh wow, that's kind of weird. We might need a better onboarding flow than like making an issue on GitHub. I don't know. There used to be a intake form or something, like a type form. But when we actually launch or publish, we need to make sure that user journey is clean. Is it okay?
It's just about, sorry, I didn't get it. It's just about reporting issues, or just
right now, if you want to make a campaign on Giveth, you have to be you have to be added to a registry, basically, of a list of users that are allowed to have that capability. Same with communities. Anyone can propose a trace, but to make a campaign, you have to. It requires a registration process. So we need to tighten that up. I think we have to continue to only allow. And you know what? Maybe our registration process, maybe only verified projects can make it onto Giveth Trace. Maybe everybody on Trace is a verified project. Maybe that's the direction we should go. I don't know, but we have to think about onboarding users to be able to make campaigns.
I think we can make it open for everyone, but not approved unless their role is changed.
The problem is we have to pay their gas. So like, I don't want like some crypto company to be like, oh yeah, well, it will save gas by just going on to Giveth, and Griff will pay the gas for us to make all of our payments to our employees. That's not okay. So
no, we have time to approve their campaign. They just make it open for everyone to propose campaigns, and we see a list of them. If it's okay, we change their role and make it the campaign okay.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Instead of creating a separate type form, we can go through our process.
Sure. I mean, should that? Yeah, cool. Sounds good. I just wanted it to be on your guys. Sorry, go ahead, Ashley.
It would be a similar way of like proposing a trace, where you just like create new, and then it would have to be then approved by somebody.
Yeah, the bar of the button that was for creating campaign is always visible for everyone. if can they fill the form, but the campaign is not going to be accepted, for example. We can just view all of it, as an admin, for example, and after that we decide to change the role or not. But I'm not sure, just a suggestion. And I mean, what do you say?
What you're saying is needs design, needs thinking about procedure on the application. We have such capability yet, and we should it needs much implementation, maybe direct talking with us, and put some contact, something like that, and they email us, we contact with them, and after they are verified, we can allow them to create a community.
So you mean that bringing the Ashley's type form first, and after that we change their role.
So then maybe
I'm not sure about the capability. Griff, is it possible to for you to create a community and while you are not owner, like what we do on the trace? You can create a trace, deploy the smart contract, but while you are not the owner. Is it possible for campaign?
Yeah, because you can change the campaign owner on the smart contract. So it'd be the same thing. You deploy it as you, the owner, and then you make another transaction to change the owner from you to whoever was really supposed to be the campaign owner.
Yeah, okay, that's possible. So we can allow users to create, ask us.
I mean, I kind of we haven't had a chance to really think about it, but I kind of like the idea of like a simple flow of like trace is the advanced Giveth, right? Like first you come to Giveth.io, you make a project, you become a verified project, and then only verified projects can come to the Cool Kids Club, where we have traceable donation and all the advanced features that everybody wants, but only the cool kids get.
Mm-hmm. I think Ashley can easily solve this issue because on its type form, after the project is verified, can easily bring them to the campaign instead of introducing the campaign first. And after that, we will gonna change. Have a process that we change the role of that person and make it, send them a link to go through traces and make the campaign. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is a good approach, and it also kind of helps answer some questions in our onboarding process, like how do we onboard new campaigns onto Trace. And so, once they're a verified project on Giveth.io, then they have the capabilities to use Trace and have all those extra features. And I think that's a good approach to kind of scaling the amount of users that we then are paying gas for as well.
Okay, I have to run, guys. I'm sorry to throw that curveball at the very end, but
thank you for joining.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Great call.
Yeah. If you guys have a second, I'm kind of confused because as I go into Trace now, I thought that the reason we changed Milestone to Trace is because there was still I thought we had 4 options for traces and Milestone was one of them, but when I go on there now I only see expense, payment, and bounty, and so I'm just kind of confused. Maybe I missed something? But...
No, I'm sorry, I didn't communicate this, but I begged Amin to remove it because people kept thinking that they need to make a milestone and saying, oh yeah, go make a milestone, and then they go and actually make a milestone instead of a payment trace. So that confusion, I think my suggestion would be just to remove that functionality that no one uses anyway, really, for like a few months. And then we can bring it back as a new feature. Ooh.
Okay. I was just confused. I was like, wait, I miss something? I know things move really fast, but I missed that. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Everyone. Bye.